Fox is facing a pretty serious defamation lawsuit filed by Smartmatic, which is a voting machine supplier. The defamation lawsuit is to the tune of $2.7 billion. And Fox seems to be in denial about their own hosts and some of the falsehoods that they were spreading during and after the presidential election. And so Smartmatic filed a $2.7 billion lawsuit against Fox, claiming that Fox News irreparably harmed its reputation when some of its news personalities and guests targeted the company as responsible for rigging election results. Named in the 285-page lawsuit were Fox News and 3 Fox News personalities, including Lou Dobbs, who recently got canceled by Fox, Jeanine, Pirro, and Maria Bartiromo. Now, Smartmatic has cited some of the falsehoods that were repeated by Fox News hosts, including that Smartmatic is a Venezuelan company under the control of corrupt dictators from socialist countries. Just all of the not so smart and obviously not so accurate or true statements that we showed you and debunked on this show. But Fox claims that they were covering both sides of the story, that they did not actually repeat falsehoods, that they were doing fair and balanced reporting here. Here's their statement. If the First Amendment means anything, it means that Fox cannot be held liable for fairly reporting and commenting on competing allegations in a hotly contested and actively litigated election. We are proud of our election coverage, which stands in the highest tradition of American journalism. Well, I think it's only fair that we take a quick look at what that journalism looked like.
Breaking news this morning on the software that President Trump says was weaponized against him. Coming up, President Trump's legal team with new evidence this morning of backdoors on voting machines, ballot tampering, and election interference.
President's lawyers alleging a company called Dominion, which they say started in Venezuela with Cuban money and with the assistance of Smartmatic software, a backdoor is capable of flipping votes. And the president's lawyers alleging that American votes in a presidential election are actually counted in a foreign country. These are serious allegations. But the media has no interest in any of this. But you and I do, as we should.
The foundations of democracy and the will of the people, which is, of course, expressed through our votes. And we don't know about the accuracy of those votes. We have a very good indication that they were fraudulently counted.
Look, I want to show this graphic of the swing states that were using Dominion and this software, the Smartmatic software. I mean, you just said it all. This is a Smartmatic, a Delaware entity registered in Boca Raton, Florida, activities in Caracas, Venezuela. The voting machines were used, Dominion voting machines were used in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And I have a graphic showing the states where they stopped counting.
Georgia uses Dominion voting systems, which has a history of technical glitches. And in Atlanta, these software glitches could have affected thousands of absentee mail-in ballots.
The fact of the matter is that this president is looking at the prospect of having this election stolen from him.
The Dominion voting machines were not used in the general election. They were used in Los Angeles, I believe, but all of those battleground states that were listed by Maria Bartiromo did not, in fact, use Dominion voting machines with Smartmatic software. That was a lie. And also, in the beginning of that clip, she stated they were going to provide evidence of these machines changing votes. They did no such thing. In fact, Trump's lawyers failed to provide a shred of evidence in a court of law. So clearly, they lied to their audience over and over and over again about the reality of the election and also the methods in which the votes were being cast during the election.
Yeah, I mean, I don't yes, it's all a serious allegation, none of which is borne out. Yes, it's a hotly contested election, except one side clearly won, just many, many, many times over. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about when you say that you're doing your First Amendment, rights, which is again like back to the role of the media and them having to rely on First Amendment rights. Like they obviously. This is the same network that has been whipping up racist violence against Black Lives Matter's organizers for expressing their First Amendment rights peacefully on the streets. But it's their First Amendment right to go down a fake news rabbit hole about the election. Come on. We understand you're doing it for ratings, and I love Jeanine Pirro's her just extremist soccer mom vibe, and how she's just this is not real. It is not real. And I will say, as someone who wishes that we had a more streamlined voting process, that we had not machines but actual paper ballots. This is a silver lining of having a privatized voter system, which is that these corporations and companies are gonna be mad as hell when you defame them in public. And they're litigious, because it's a litigious ass country, and they will definitely serve you a lawsuit. I mean, Dominion is suing Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, each for $1.3 billion. And they're not getting paid from Trump. Ooh. Is rough out there. So it's if this is the way we have to go, Anna, to get some kind of accountability for all the lies that are spewed on Fox, I don't know, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would prefer, again, I'm gonna repeat that the fairness doctrine would have prevented all of this from happening by literally forcing broadcast news, and yes, unfortunately, cable news is considered broadcast news, to provide the, let's say the CEO of Dominion, he would need to be notified under the fairness doctrine that they're going to talk about Dominion in an upcoming broadcast. And then they have to provide an opportunity for him to respond on air and defend himself, defend his company. But in this case, we have to rely on defamation lawsuits. And clearly it's done something already in the way that Newsmax and OAN talk about the voter fraud allegations. The MyPillow guy was start repeating nonsense again on Newsmax, and they had one of their anchors literally walk off the set because of how much of a legal liability this Mike Lindell guy, poses while he's on their air. But we all experienced it. We all saw it. There's a reason why the majority of Republican voters think that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. It wasn't just Donald Trump saying it. It was these right-wing news organizations doing the same thing, repeating his message, amplifying his message, and not being honest, about the reality with the American people. And that has led to a lot of pain, including an attack on the Capitol by Trump supporters.
But the media will never cover it. The media, excluding this giant platform I'm on right now. I love how Fox considers themselves not the media and all the mainstream media. Fool, you guys realize you're still somehow the most watched network in the country. Your ratings are taking a big old dive, but way too many people get their information from you. But still, oh yeah, the media, okay.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.